And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Tuesday, April 26th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It's a Tuesday morning, and this is Coleman and Company on the air from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital has been serving Wilson County for more than 2 years. They continue to grow to meet the needs of the residents in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and surrounding communities. Since becoming part of the Vanderbilt University Medical Center family, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital is now has additional services. They have new equipment, infrastructure, and technology to extend Vanderbilt's level of care into Wilson County. Advancements in care and a greater focus on patient experience bring an elevated level of care to Wilson County. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health, which opened year before last in Lebanon, brings high-quality, convenient care to the community. The center provides general gynecology services such as pap smears, well-woman visits, and breast exams, and is equipped to meet the needs of advanced gynecologic patients. Expecting mothers can receive prenatal and pregnancy care, including parenting education and high-risk maternal care, with deliveries and surgeries performed locally at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. The Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health Lebanon is the second outpatient clinic location in Wilson County, joining Vanderbilt Center for Women's Health Mount Juliet Clinic, which opened in February 2019. And a couple of reminders here. It's one reminder of two different dates, actually, and that is that the blood drive is going on. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital has a blood drive this Friday, April 29th, 12 noon to 5 p.m., and you can schedule an appointment by going to bloodassurance.org/VWCH. And you can also contact Trudy Cody, 931-239-9411. And the same thing is going to occur on Tuesday, May 10th. Well, it's about the same, but the time is an hour different. The Red Cross bus at 1411 Badua Parkway on Tuesday, May 10th, and this will be from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right, Justin Beasley's here. We're going to talk about Mount Juliet this morning. Justin, Public Information Officer, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's good to see you.
It certainly seems like we're doing this at like 4 p.m. now. There's so much daylight now at 6 in the morning when I head this way. It's just, it doesn't feel as bright it doesn't feel as early and just dark outside and kind of dreary and tiresome.
Well, now, if the sun is out there shining bright in the east, it makes driving and maybe a little more difficult. You didn't have that problem today.
No, but I do put on the glasses. Sometimes that sun's right in your eyes, so it certainly helps.
Are we in sync? Did you have a Board of Commissioners meeting last night?
We did, if that's what you want to call it. It was very quick. I don't have to stay for the whole thing. I usually leave about after the commissioner's comments and the city manager's comments. I do college ministry at church on Monday nights, and I went back after the opening comments and did a couple things in my office and then left, and the city meeting was already over. So wasn't a ton on the agenda last night, which is good for a lot of people that if they saw the ball games on Monday night or whatnot. So it was very brief, I'll tell you that, Coleman.
Well, do you know anything that took place?
Yes, we have a new church that got annexed into the city, Shiloh Baptist Church. If anyone is familiar with them, they've done a lot with the city as far as the Christmas tree lighting that we do right after the Christmas parade. This year, obviously, it was a rainy day, so not as many people attended. The year before, quite a lot attended, but we encourage anybody. We won't force them, but we encourage anybody that wants to get annexed into the city that's in our pockets, as far as the county, to get annexed into the city of Mount Juliet. You get fire, police, city sewer, and a ton of other services for about $300 or $400 with our tax rates. So that's something that they chose to do, and we're certainly happy to have them on board.
Do you anticipate some more of this taking place? Or is this just sort of a once in a great while thing that they ask to be annexed?
I think we'll start seeing it a lot more. We met with the county, the Mayor Hutto, and really all the high officials with Wilson County, Lebanon, and also Watertown, and we're trying to discuss a urban growth plan where areas that they have sought after and areas that we've sought after, just to try to help people if they want to start a business in that area, they don't have to jump through three things of red tape. They kind of know where they are, where they belong. So that's something we're certainly working through, and that'll give certainly Mount Juliet more space to work with. Right now we have 32 square miles. If we can add more to that, it'll certainly be beneficial to our taxes and everything of that nature. And when I say taxes, I'm talking about the sales tax, which we're highly dependent on.
There's pros and cons to that, of course. And here we're talking about a church building, a little land here that you have annexed, which I guess is a little bit different from maybe a street or a subdivision or something like that.
Yeah, and it takes time. There's a process where they have to reach out to us that they want to do such a thing. Again, we're not going to force anybody to do it. It's within their own jurisdiction to figure out what they want and what best suits them. In this particular situation, I know the pastor fairly well. I haven't talked to him too much about the annexation part, but they're building a new building. They're having some help from one of the Christian organizations to kind of expand and build their church. So we're certainly glad that they want to call Mount Juliet home. We wish more people would do that, but again, it takes time, and I think more people will in the future.
Well, I was just thinking here about population-wise. You can't count those church members. Add that to your population.
That's a good point. Yeah. It's like let's do the census on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock as everybody exits the building. That's funny.
Well, you do have a few hundred more than we have here in Lebanon, maybe 1,000 or 1,500 or something. I hadn't done the math, but a few.
Enough to say that we have more, but my thing is a high tide raises all ships. We need Lebanon to be great. We need Watertown to be great for us to be great, and vice versa. So we certainly root for surrounding city success, really all of Wilson County success, and the counties around us, because it takes a village to be great, and certainly Middle Tennessee is a sought after destination. I will say it as well. Something we did last night, a second reading we passed. The budget for the Celebrate Mount Juliet 50th Parade, which will be July 16th. Still can't tell you the headliner this morning. We're having a meeting at 10:30 today. We're going to iron out a lot of those details. We can't, overpromise something when we don't have the money yet. Last night solidified that we have a budget for that parade. So
you know how much?
I think it's around $30,000, and you factor in it's a 50th celebration. To get a headliner, to get inflatables, to get, all these amenities, $30,000 is probably just scraping the bottom of the floor. Not to say that we're not trying to go all out for this, but we're trying to be responsible with the parks budget as well. So we feel like $30,000 is going to get a lot of people in the door, and we're going to be able to have a grand old time.
50th anniversary. Celebrating 50 years of being incorporated.
Yes, sir. Incorporated in 1972. Been a city longer than that, but as far as incorporated, well before my time, 1972 was the magical year for us.
Well, I'm sure it's good, and it'll be right in the good old summertime, the middle of July here, more or less.
And that's the thing. We had thought about some different events maybe earlier in the year or later in the year, but we're like, man, if you get it right in the middle of the year, in the summer at Charlie Daniels Park, before parents turn their attention to school in late July. We thought about July 29th or 30th, I believe, and we were like, no, parents are thinking about school, they're getting supplies, they're worried about the tax-free weekend. Let's put it right in the middle of July after everybody's back from July 4th, everybody's back from the dead period of high school. 16th, we couldn't have picked a more perfect date, which we're in charge of it. So that's why we picked it.
Well, and at that particular time of year, maybe you would probably garner more attention. You're gonna be on the news more on TV and
be on Coleman promoting it, right? What are you talking about, the news? If I got Coleman, I don't need anybody else. This signal goes as far as we need it.
Your check will be in the mail.
Oh, thank you. Hey, speaking of, I talked about magical year, 50th anniversary. Is there something magical about this day in your life, Coleman?
Well, Helen and I got married 59 years ago
figured.
today.
Congratulations. 59 years is a great example for
I'm glad you mentioned that so
young
that
guy
I
like
can
me.
actually remember to say happy anniversary to her this morning.
I need another check in the
anniversary,
mail.
Helen.
Happy anniversary. That is fantastic.
All right,
Honestly.
let's take our break right here. Justin Beasley's with us from Mount Juliet. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:14. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And it's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. Running heavy at times 24 through the Hickory Hollow area. All that traffic coming out of Rutherford County through Davidson County. Lots of radar out here this morning. Give yourself plenty of extra time as it starts to build through Williamson County as well on 840 as you head over towards 65. Hey, PensacolaBeach.com. It has everything you need to book your next getaway. Log on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
It's time for a change in Wilson County. I'm Philip Warren, and I'm running for county mayor to provide a fresh perspective, proactive ideas, and lead with integrity. I believe in term limits from the courthouse to Congress. After 12 years, it's time for new leadership. I will lead as mayor as I've led in the past, with a focused vision and the goal of making government serve the citizens of Wilson County. Proven Republican, proven leadership. I'm Philip Warren, and I approve this message.
The refreshing cool after coming in from a hot summer day. The perfect temperature to kick off your shoes and relax with a good book. When the weather heats up, a new Rheem AC system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. Just a reminder again, our program each Tuesday presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And the Blood Mobile is going to be there on Friday, April 29th, this Friday, and then on Tuesday, May the 10th. And you can go online and register, etc. Justin Beasley's with us. What else do we need to talk about Mount Juliet? Now, as big as Mount Juliet is, and as growing as you are, and with the different things that's going on, there's always something to talk about. And you're right in the middle of all of it.
This isn't the most exciting thing in the world to talk about, but there's a new traffic signal coming at the end of South Green Hill Road and Lebanon Road. And for anyone that drives that understands how much of a need that is. In fact, we went out Friday when they first put the lights up. I mean, they're up, but they're flashing now. By state law, they have to flash for 7 days. So by the time I come back on here, it'll be fully functional. Me and Andy Barlow were shooting a video and some photos to let the public know about it. And I'd be darned if we didn't see about 2 wrecks during that little time span we were there, right in that intersection. So once that stops flashing for 7 days, it'll be fully functional and help people on South Green Hill Road in that neighborhood, and also help people on Lebanon Road. So I think that'll be a welcomed addition in the city of Mount Juliet. Also, the I-40 bridge that we've talked about. The latest I have is late May, early June when that will be done. So that will be, I mean, we'll be cruising right along this summer in Mount Juliet. I tell you what, with that being done, that'll be great.
Well, I'll tell you how it is with those traffic lights. It depends on which road you're traveling. If you're on a side road wanting to get onto a main road, you love that traffic light because you don't have to stay there forever for a break in the traffic to pull out.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, right. But if you're on the main road, you hate all these traffic lights that make you have to stop. So there has to be a happy medium some way. But they are we might say a necessary evil, or however you want to say that.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure that the people who are wanting to get on Highway 70, Lebanon Road, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're going to appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. And you can already tell that the lines will be painted here in a couple of days. The lights are flashing, and eventually they'll start working. I think it'll be a welcome addition to the city. Also, I want to say this. It's public. We were going to, just to build, behind the curtain, we were going to announce Pop Shelf coming to the old yard sale store on Lebanon Road where it meets North Mount Juliet Road. And that's something, like BJ's we announced on our Facebook page. Well, this is just a situation where they wanted to kind of keep it confidential, but one of our reporters, Andy Humbles, did a good job, found out that Pop Shelf was coming, released it before we did. That's fine. It's still coming to Mount Juliet. So Pop Shelf, I don't know if many of your audience knows what it is. We have one in Murfreesboro where I live, and it's almost like a couple of steps up from a Dollar General. And It's purple. It's very loud. I've never actually been in one, but I think you can get a bunch of party supplies there and stuff that's, not $1, but $4 or $5, just a little higher quality. And supposedly it's the rave because there's a ton coming to the Middle Tennessee area, and we're glad to have one in Mount Juliet. We're keeping up with the times.
And where's that going to be?
At the old yard sale store. So right at the corner, right across from where the new Whataburger will be.
Oh, okay.
At Old Lebanon Road and North Mount Juliet Road.
All right. How's your Whataburger coming along?
Speaking of Whataburger, yeah, they're still coming along. It's going to take some time. They had to work out some things as far as the entrance with the state, since it is North Mount Juliet Road and Lebanon Road, both state roads. They had to figure out how to get in and get out. I think the only entrance right now, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be through Lebanon Road. And I think that they had to represent that to Whataburger. We did after the state told us what we could do with that location. And as far as I'm understanding, they're still game with it. So Whataburger's still coming. And, I think, some people are like, man, what's all the craze about Whataburger this, Whataburger that? Well, every time I go to Gulf Shores, I seek out a Whataburger somewhere in Alabama. It is every bit worth the craze. Now, I'm not going to sit in a line for an hour or two, but it's 24-hour service. There are going to be times where there's going to be a minimal line, and I'm telling you, the chicken sandwich and the hamburger is fantastic. Fantastic, Coleman.
Well,
You'll be celebrating your anniversary there one day soon.
I know we have one coming here.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a little bit later than yours, although I'm not sure about that. Do you? You got a time frame?
I do not have a time frame, but if anybody else in Mount Juliet's like me, they're getting impatient. I want some Whataburger, but when it's here, it'll be glorious and it'll be well worth the wait.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I've passed by it so many times out on South Cumberland. I think ground has been broken. I believe they're building.
Okay.
I think your building going up?
Not yet. Again, they had to represent it to Whataburger.
Don't quote me on that. My memory's not too crazy. MJ's nodding. Am I right? Okay. There is construction underway.
Okay. Yeah.
We may get the one before you do.
Yeah. I mean, there's one in Hermitage, and the one in Murfreesboro is broken ground too. So I mean, they're actively trying to get as many up as possible.
It looks like they want to saturate the area.
I would imagine so. I don't think their feelings would be hurt if everybody's in a line of Whataburger.
We do have, fast food. That's what we refer to that. And of course, if you got a line a mile long, it's not as fast as you'd like it to be, but it's still known as fast food. And that's a popular thing anymore. And and especially after COVID, when you didn't dine in for a period of time there in most places, and of course that is coming back, but it's kind of slow.
Right.
Everybody still, I don't think, has opened their doors.
Just mainly from what I see is employment. I don't know that it's a huge issue in Mount Juliet, but I don't know. I don't think there are more jobs than people. I just think that there aren't that many people wanting to work, in the fast food industry like back in the good old days, right?
I think you could have just said there's not that many people wanting to work.
Yeah, what you said. I won't construe that.
When the government starts paying you not to work.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's not a good thing.
Right. I side halfway with the person, because I'm like, I don't know that I would do the same. I'd have too much pride to try to work, but you can't blame some of them. I mean, if that's the system, why go to work?
Well,
Sad.
okay, you
But I'm telling you, I'm working 10 days out of 10. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean, though. It's sad. I'm right with you.
you
1,000%.
you are a public information officer. When they call, you got to come running.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
just the way it is. It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah. And speaking of public information, yesterday, unfortunately, we had some vandalism at the new North District Fire Station right across from Green Hill High School. We posted the photos on our Twitter and Facebook of basically the trench drains that go into the apparatus bay of the fire hall. They've been damaged. They've been, kind of altered and it looks like it was kicked and beat down a little bit. It's going to cost us a little bit of money to repair that, and it's going to take a couple more days as far as the repair is concerned with the construction workers. We have no clue who's done it. I think they're trying to see if there's any footage from either the high school or any surrounding cameras, but and maybe 20 years ago you would have just heard of that through word of mouth.
Yeah.
The reason we posted that, one, people care about their fire department. Two, it's a public entity, so people are going to be dependent on that. Whoever did that, you think, messed up the service that they would be provided in that area. And three, if anybody sees any suspicious activity out there, we're encouraging them to call the police department and just to keep an eye out on it. I know Jamie Luffman is out near that area. He monitors it 24/7, but just takes just a couple of seconds for somebody to do something that is just senseless, honestly. So we hope we can keep that to a minimal, and that's the end of that one.
Well, absolutely. And anytime you have something like that, it has to be checked out. It slows down the work progress. And I hope nobody gets a thrill out of that. But why anyone would want to do that?
I know. And you would think that, were they doing it because of the workers or just because they were bored? It makes no sense, especially for a fire station where, fire apparatuses are needed in that area of town, and just to slow up the pace, that's just, again, the best word I can find for it, senseless.
Well, what about recreation and maybe baseball? I guess it's beginning to come along in Mount Juliet. I don't know how much you are all you're privileged to know about that, but it is part of Mount Juliet, whether it's sponsored by the city or not. You got a park down there. You got a lot going.
Right, and I think they had to cancel the games last night because of rain. But as far as I know, they're up and rocking. I did opening ceremonies there last summer before I even knew that my future was going to lie in Mount Juliet. So I think they're off and rolling. I certainly miss playing ball at that age where it's just fun and it's not so strategic and all of that. But our parks are heavily involved with that, and I think the future's bright for those kids. We also have a volleyball league starting on Saturdays. That's already started. One of our, Chip Bailey, he works for the parks, comes from California. His daughter played volleyball, and not everybody's talented enough to play high school volleyball. He started up a league, and I think it's more than what he could even envision. A ton of kids coming out, and it's just getting off the ground. It's in their first year, but it's created quite the buzz in Mount Juliet.
Is there are there people, maybe some of the city fathers, who are wanting to expand the recreation facilities that you have? And I mean, it costs to do that. But where are you? Where is that in Mount Juliet right now?
Well, Mount Juliet has a great Charlie Daniels Park already now, but we have 9 different parklands, as I understand right now. So there are ideas to do some outdoor things at some other spots. Again, it just, it all has to go through the commissioners. So, we're throwing around some ideas of what we could do here and there, because right now Charlie Daniels Park is on the north side of town. We need more stuff on the south side of town at Mundy Park. But, we're getting new tennis courts, new, why can't I think of it? More pickleball courts, which is quite the buzz in Mount Juliet. So we're certainly dedicating a lot of resources to that. And if we haven't made that known, certainly with our big Mount Juliet party that we're having July 16th.
Well, we're in our last minute here, but I know you have a great relationship with Jamie Luffman.
Really?
And most likely Kenny Martin.
Yes, sir.
We don't ever hear anything about Mayor James Maness. Now, do you see him on a regular basis?
I see him all the time. I had lunch with him last Friday. I see him at all the commission meetings. He's busy with his full-time job as well, but he does a ton of public speaking opportunities that he has, and the state of the city. He's really in more places than you would ever imagine, doing a lot of things. If people can't get answers from where they want them, and they're trying to just go through somebody, they're eventually going to email the mayor. So he's always actively working, and always with department heads trying to make sure that the city's doing well. So maybe I'll bring him by here one day.
It would be nice to have him again. I think the only time I've had him on, probably in the last 2 years, is when he was running, and it was one of those free slots because you're a mayoral candidate. It's just the mayor hasn't. The city managers always, and now you.
Yeah.
And Jamie, of course, have been the ones that, and also Police Chief James Hambrick.
Yes, sir.
He's been here but not the mayor.
Yeah. Well, it is, him and the commissioners are part-time, so, their time is valuable. But I'll see if I can do a little something to try to get him on, at least call in or come in. He's often sought after.
All right. Well, listen, Justin, thanks for being with us as always. I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks, and keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
59.
Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota, Lampride, quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and well-built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still heavy traffic volume trying to get in from Rutherford County on 24 westbound and through the Hickory Hollow area. Steady flow and traffic continues, making your way through Kingston Springs on I-40 coming in from Dixon County, Hickman County. All looks pretty good. Just lots of THP units out here to remind you what the speed limit is. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar. It's home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Coach Randall Hutto to many of you, and your Wilson County Republican Mayor to the rest. Leadership is important, and we believe our track record speaks for itself. There's a reason why everyone wishes to call Wilson County home. By leading with conservative values, we have incredible schools, safe neighborhoods, some of the lowest taxes, and one of the best fiscally managed counties in Tennessee. To keep Wilson County great, we humbly ask for your vote in the Wilson County Republican primary. Early voting runs from April 13th through the 28th, and Election Day is on May 3rd. Paid for by committee to elect Randall Hutto Mayor.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
This is Kenneth Hackett, and I am running for Circuit Court Clerk. I served with the Tennessee Highway Patrol for 33 years and retired with more time in Wilson County than any trooper in the history of THP. I have worked with the court system 33 years and have a working relationship with all law enforcement agencies. I have proven that I am a dedicated public servant, that I have integrity, and I am a trusted leader. I am asking for your vote on May 3rd or during early voting. Paid for by the committee to elect Kenneth Hackett for Circuit Court Clerk.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
At Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, world-class care is a heartbeat away. In fact, we offer the same world-class attention Middle Tennessee has come to rely on from a Vanderbilt Health hospital. Supported by over 200 specialties, an expanded emergency department staffed with Vanderbilt Health physicians 24/7. and greater investments in life-saving technologies and care. It's just one more way we're making healthcare personal.
Sunny and dry weather on the way. We'll see a high of 63 degrees today with partly cloudy skies. Look for an overnight low around 37. Wednesday and Thursday will be warmer, highs in the 70s, before our next chance of rain on Friday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Number One Ned.
And we welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on this Tuesday morning. We're ready to talk about Hearthside Senior Living, and Betty Kelly is with us this morning. Betty, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is nice to have you with us again, and I got word yesterday from Sean that you were going to be here to talk about Hearthside rather than him this morning, and you are the activities director, right?
I am.
You've been here a number of times. You made me that mask one time, a Vanderbilt mask that I still have in my briefcase back here, and I still thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Are you staying busy?
Oh, goodness, yeah. With the new renovations, there's been a lot of work to do to, put things back where they belong, and things like that. So
you're still doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's remind everybody, Hearthside, of course, Hearthside Senior Living is a retirement and assisted living community. It's located at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North here in Lebanon. Sean Dozier's the executive director, but Betty Kelly, who's here, is the activities director. And that probably entails a lot of things. Your job description as activities director can be anything from what Sean doesn't want to do to taking care of somebody in almost any imaginable situation, I guess.
That's true. That's true. I wear many hats.
Well, any particular thing you want to talk about this morning?
Well, we are having our open house. It will be on Thursday from 4 to 6:30.
You mean like day after tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to be open to the public, of course, and any family members that want to come by and check out the new renovations. And we do have a couple of openings too, so it's going to be real nice.
Well, tell us a little. Sean has talked about this and mentioned it. We hadn't really gone into detail, I don't think, about it. But what all actually took place? You've been there since 1994, and it was time to maybe to do some painting and redecorating.
Mm-hmm.
And but to what extent have you done this?
We did all the mostly, the main part of the building and things, but soon we'll be renovating the kitchen. We've renovated the activities room all through the halls, new paint, new pictures, everything. It just doesn't look the same. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's kind of brightened things up, and the residents are loving it.
Well, there's nothing, almost nothing that can improve something like a fresh coat of paint.
Right. A coat of paint will do a lot.
and you have brightened it up, you were telling me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And in the activity room, we've added a few things for activities that are, I guess you could say, permanent. But the residents are enjoying the new things, and so it's quite nice.
Well, so many times over the years, Hearthside has been full. It hasn't been hardly full for a little while here, and I think we can probably say COVID has had
definitely that made a big difference
to do with that, right? Mm-hmm. But you and Sean has been talking about this. It's kind of been slow, but it's been slowly filling up again. And you've got maybe 2 right now?
That's right.
Only 2.
Well,
only 2.
Only 2.
and if you're interested, you can always come by. And he has always insisted that it's fine to just drop by. Now, there were times in the past 2 years when you couldn't, but now it's okay. You can drop by, and if he's not there, I'm sure you'll be glad to show anybody what's available and talk to them about it.
Yeah, we've had quite a few tours here lately, too, so it's been good. Our activities department is, lots of new things happening, and the garden is about to get put in, and that's a big deal for them. So,
well, your job is probably very important in that people who are there in assisted living, the day can be a drag and a bore if there's not something to do, and maybe something different every once in a while. And it's kind of incumbent upon you to make sure that it's not boring and a difficult day.
That's true. That's true. The only thing I can't change is bingo. And bingo is, it has to happen. So,
but your residents love bingo.
Oh yeah.
So you play bingo.
We
and
do.
Play it a lot.
But it's fine with me. But they also like to change at the same time. So we'll try something once. If it doesn't happen, or they don't like it, then we try something else.
I just had a thought, and have you ever done karaoke?
We have in the past. We haven't recently.
How'd it go?
It was pretty good, actually. Not too bad, but it's hard to get them to get up there in front of people and do it. Now, if they're in a group, then it works out fine.
Yeah.
We do have a sing along now, so we've had like 12 people come every time, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, if you've got an idea that would work, Betty would probably appreciate it. But things seem to be going real well. And how long have you been activities director?
10 years.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you've experienced a lot in 10 years, no doubt.
I have.
Well, the phone number 615-443-1994, and 1994 is the year Hearthside started. That was before you. That was more than 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
but you're still having fun, still enjoying your job.
We are.
And we
yes.
appreciate you being here to tell us about it this
Thanks
morning.
for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. Betty Kelly, she's the Activities Director for Hearthside Senior Living, again at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. You can reach them by at 615-443-1994. Thank you, Betty. All right, let me turn to my guest this morning, who is Tammy Smith, Administrator of Elections for Wilson County. And she's here this morning to talk about the early voting that's going on and the May 3rd election that is coming up. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And how are things with you?
Things are going well. How are you?
You pretty busy right now?
We are not busy enough, unfortunately. Very low turnout.
Well, you ask how I am. I'm doing fine, I think, and I appreciate you being here this morning. We've got several things to talk about. You told me you didn't particularly want to get into any controversies, but you'd be glad to say what the law says about primaries and who can vote and this sort of thing. Now, as I understand it, a political party can ask for a primary. The general election, I guess, is set by the Election Commission, but...
No, it's set in law, in TCA code. It's August 4th.
Okay,
it's always the same.
But you're in charge of whatever election it is. But,
correct.
But we have our general election, but there is a difference between a primary and a general election. And even in that, some people start getting confused, don't they?
They do. So the August election is actually a primary as well for the state and federal, for the state and federal offices, but it's usually a county general. And so that's what's different this year. This is actually the county primary, which is the first we've had in a while. We had the county primary back in with the PPP back in March of 20. Mm-hmm. So this isn't the first one we've had, but it's the first big one we've had in quite a while.
Do you find people still don't really understand this, or there's some either confusion or misunderstanding?
So because we're growing at such a fast rate, we have a lot of people moving in here that are used to being registered as a primary, they'll want to register by party. So some states register by party automatically. Tennessee is not one of those states. And so they're kind of confused right off the get-go because they don't understand that we don't register by party. And so when you say you have a primary, they don't really understand that. They already think they're registered by party. They don't even really understand they didn't register that way to begin with. So, yes, there is a little bit of confusion about that.
Well, before we get too far, I'm just wondering,
Yes.
what do your early vote totals look like?
So we're standing at 4,709 is the turnout right now, which is very low, 4.7%. Out of 99,138,000 that can vote. So 4,900 out of 99,000 is quite low.
We've
So,
had less than 5,000 people to early vote.
That's correct.
And early voting goes through this Friday, I believe.
No, it's actually Thursday. Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Thursday, the 28th?
Yes.
Well, excuse me,
Yes.
Thursday's the 28th.
Yes.
Okay, through Thursday. And then, of course, election on May the 3rd.
Right.
Has voting, there are four places, I believe, where you can early vote.
That's correct.
Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Watertown, and Gladeville.
Gladeville.
All right. Which one of them has had the most votes?
Lebanon is voting the most for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Mount Juliet second?
It's always second, yes. Actually, this time, historically, Mount Juliet passes Lebanon, but this time Lebanon still is in first. So,
Well, is there any indication that people are waiting? Any indication at all, or you just think it's just going to be a low?
I think it's just going to be a low turnout based on all the other counties surrounding us as well. Everyone's having a low turnout. I was watching something last night. Rutherford County's only voted 5,000 out of 180,000. Wow. That's extremely low.
And that's a less percentage than us.
Yes, Williamson County's extremely low. They're all really low. Primary elections just don't turn out the voters. They just don't understand that local elections are really more important than federal elections, but people don't understand that. You talk about a president election and they all come out, but they don't understand local politics really is what matters the most. You know, county commission sets our taxes. All the county offices, they're all very important.
Yeah, someone was telling me the other day that talking to somebody that obviously didn't really understand what was going on, says, the people sure are getting their signs out early this year.
Yeah.
No, not really. The election made
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So
we got to take a break right here. Tammy Smith is with us, Administrator of Elections. We got more to talk about, so stay with us here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get a battery installed on most vehicles, $134.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Quite busy actually out here in the last few minutes on 65 trying to get past Trinity Lane. 24 still carrying a heavy volume of traffic up through the Hickory Hollow area coming in from Rutherford County. 42nd at Charlotte Avenue. That wreck was tying up the intersection a few minutes ago. 2 cars involved at Stewart's Ferry Pike and the Campbell Avenue. PensacolaBeach.com. It's got everything you need to book your next getaway. Log on to PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hello, Wilson County. I am Larney Lassiter, candidate for county trustee. I was born and raised in Wilson County, and my dad always taught me to have a strong work ethic. For the past 36 years, I have been your hometown first responder. We need someone as trustee who will provide moral and ethical values, quality leadership, and a willingness to work hard. It would be an honor to serve as your trustee. Please vote Larney Lassiter in the May 3rd primary, paid for by a committee to elect Larney Lassiter.
It's time for a change in Wilson County. I'm Philip Warren, and I'm running for county mayor to provide a fresh perspective, proactive ideas, and lead with integrity. I believe in term limits from the courthouse to Congress. After 12 years, it's time for a new leadership. I will lead as mayor as I've led in the past, with a focused vision and the goal of making government serve the citizens of Wilson County. Proven Republican, proven leadership. I'm Philip Warren, and I approve this message.
This is Coleman Walker inviting you to join Judge Barry Tatum and me for live election coverage starting when the polls close at 7 p.m. on May 3rd. Brought to you by A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, Burdine Supply, Designer Carpets, Hartwell Funeral Chapel, Powell & Meadows Insurance, Steve Mull Plumbing, and the Wilson Post. Early voting is now through April 28th. Join us for live election coverage of the primary election returns May 3rd starting at 7 p.m. on WANT FM 98.9 and WCOR AM 1490. All right, we continue here on a Tuesday morning. If you're just joining us, we welcome, of course, our final segment here. Tammy Smith is with us. She's the Administrator of Elections. Now, we've talked about early voting, which goes through this Thursday, which is the 28th of April, and then Election Day, Tuesday, May the 3rd. Polls will open 7 a.m., close at 7
That's correct.
p.m., and we'll have election coverage right here. Judge Barry Tatum and I, and Billy and MJ and whoever else will be here to bring you election returns on that evening. But Tammy, what are some of the questions that your office is? People have, they ask questions because they don't understand some things. What's maybe 2 or 3 of the biggest questions that have come your way?
Well, this election's been interesting because we had redistricting happen. And so they've all received their new green card. And so that's caused some confusion too. They think they have to have the green card to vote. You don't have to have the green card to vote. That's for information purposes only. Several people, many things were changed because of redistricting. That gives you information on who your new county commission district is, maybe new congressional district, state house. We have a lot of new changes in the county this time because of growth. So people are a little confused by that. You only need a Tennessee or federally issued photo ID. You do not need the green card to vote. So that's one of the questions. Primary, obviously, is the other one. They don't understand. If they vote one way in the primary this time, do they have to vote the other way the next time, or can they go back and forth? We're an open primary state. I will say 27115 states that if you're a bona fide member of the party or you pledge your allegiance to the party, then you can vote in that primary for that party. We have two primary taking place. The Democratic Party has a primary and the Republican Party has a primary. So we do have 2 elections taking place right now. So when they come in to vote, they will be asked which primary they would like to vote in, and then that's the way their ballot is set. So that's caused a little bit of confusion.
All right, right now, this what we're voting on right now in early voting and on May 3rd is strictly primary.
It is. So
there's no general election. There's no special election or anything. It's just you've got a Republican primary and a Democrat primary.
That's correct.
And you vote in one of those.
That's correct. So it's a nominating election. Both of those are nominating elections. The winners out of those nominating elections will be on the August general for those parties. So the sample ballots are on our website, wilsonelections.com. You can go view both of the sample ballots before you go vote and be ready when you go in to vote.
Well, now, the laws regarding this, and there's been some controversy that's come up about, I guess we've called it crossover. I know this has happened in other states in the past. You'd hear it in the news where people sometimes even urge to cross over. Maybe the Democrats could help nominate a Republican that they wanted, who thought was easier for the Democrat to beat in the general election. You know what I'm talking about here. That it does create some controversy, some confusion as well. Tell us what the law says and how you react to all this.
So we are open primary state. So the law is. You don't register by party. So when you come in to vote, you can choose the party that you want to vote in that day. You are saying when you ask for that ballot that you are either a bona fide member of that party or you affiliate with that party on that day. So, I do think there's probably some crossover voting in this election. Because one primary doesn't have a lot of candidates on the ballot. And it's unfortunate because that's not how a primary is supposed to work. A primary is supposed to nominate their candidates out of that election. And so it's really unfortunate that we don't have a lot of candidates on both sides that people out of those parties can vote on and elect their nominee for the county general election.
Well, are there the law allows some voters, people voting to be contested later on?
The law states they could be contested right on the spot. There's a challenge process. I don't expect any of our people to do that. It puts our people in a bad spot to challenge someone right on the spot. But it is a process. They could do that if they wanted. A poll watcher could challenge it, another poll official, or just a voter that's in line. There is a process for that. The election can be challenged after the fact. Once the election is certified, a candidate, if there's a close election and there's just few votes separating that contest, and it's known that several people crossed over, that election could be challenged. So, all of that's out of my hands. That's all in state law. So our office will have nothing to do with that. But I have been very honest about what the process would be as far as what the law states, because I don't want anybody to be surprised if it happened. I would not be surprised because we have a lot of races that I think will be close.
All right. We as far as I know, there's only one person on the Democrat primary.
That's correct.
And there are some people though who who will be on the general election ballot as independents. Talk about that a little bit, if you will. I understand that if you are going to be on the ballot in August as an independent, you have to have qualified early, just like everybody else. Is that right?
That's correct. So the nominees from the Republican primary and Democratic primary will be on the ballot with the independents for those races. So, that their names aren't on the ballot this time, but they will be on the ballot in August as an independent candidate, along with the nominees from this election. So,
there's some people who, for whatever reason, wanted to run as an independent. Is that the same process, I guess, to be an independent as is to
It is. Yeah. So you just pick up a petition, you get 25 signatures, and you either pick up for whichever party you want to run in or as an independent candidate. What the difference is when you're on the ballot. If you're independent, you're going to be on the general ballot. If you're one of the parties, you'll be on the primary ballot. But that's the only difference. They qualify at the same time.
But then the winners, of course, in the primaries then are on the general ballot with the independent candidate. But now that I think the law probably has changed. It's probably been a good while, but don't think it's always been where that you had to qualify at the same time.
It has been for a long time. Yeah, it has been for as long as I can remember, and I've been doing this since '05, so it's been a long time since it's been that way.
But I'm talking about ancient history here, back in the 40s.
When I was little bitty, right?
Back in the 40s and 50s, if my memory is correct, you could we had honestly what we had at that time. We'd have a Democrat primary this August, and we'd have the general election the next August, and somebody. I think you could.
If you lost, you could run.
Yeah, I think if you lost in the primary, you could run as an independent in the general election.
And we have those questions now. I had someone call me and said, "Okay, so if this person loses May 3rd, can I pick up?" I said, "Oh no, it's over. You can't do that." So at some point, you're correct. That must have been a process that was allowable, but not anymore. Yeah, it makes it fair for everyone across the board.
Oh, without a doubt, and that was you had a hard campaign and you won a close election, and then somebody comes up as an independent and
I think they actually call that the sore loser law. There's some law that they passed to prevent that.
It's been a long time, but anyway, just to make our point here, the independents have to qualify at the same time, and the only thing is they missed the primary, but they don't have the blessings of being the nominee then.
That's correct.
Okay, we got about 3 minutes left this morning. Anything else you want to tell us that we really need to know?
I just want to encourage people to come out and vote. You have 3 more days of early voting. We're open 8 to 6 at 4 locations: Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Watertown, and Glayville. If you want to get in and out very quickly, go to Watertown, eat lunch, make a day of it, and they'd love to see you. Election day is Tuesday, May 3rd, 7 to 7. We have 18 vote center locations. Remember, we're vote centers now. You're not assigned to a location. Those are some of the questions we've had.
That's very important because you used to have to vote in your district.
That's right.
And that's been changed in the last 2 or 3 elections. I don't know, not too long ago.
Last year, yes.
Okay. You can go to any place that's where you can vote. Anyone can go to any one of those places.
That's correct. We have 18 choices. So instead of 1 location, you have 18 locations you can go to. So if you're working, you work at Watertown, but you live in Watertown and you work in Nashville, you can vote in Mount Juliet. You don't have to go back to Watertown. So you have 18 locations. All of that information is on our website, wilsonelections.com. It even has an interactive map that you can use to find the location and give you directions to go to that place.
I think that's the wave of the future. I don't believe we're going to go back to where you had to vote in your own one district. Sometimes you might have two precincts in a district, but pretty much there was one place you had to vote.
That's correct.
And that has changed. Now, any place where voting is taking place on election day, any registered voter can vote there.
That's correct. It's just like early voting on election day. All the ballot styles are on every machine, and everyone is on every poll book, so anybody can go anywhere.
Yeah, the only difference right now for early voting, you've got 4 locations.
That's correct.
On election day, you've got
18.
18.
That's correct. So a county our size and the way we're growing and moving, the way people are transient, vote centers is the way to go.
And hasn't this sort of been set up, been identified as a model and a new way of doing things that others are probably copying and
It
maybe
has.
going to?
We are one of 4 counties in the state doing that. So we're very fortunate to be able to do that. I also want to encourage people to come to our location, see our new location, our new building. Very thankful for the county commission, county mayor for providing us with a great new building to vote in and to work in. So if you haven't been to our building to see it, please come and vote at the Lebanon location.
All right, everything's going smoothly there.
It
and you've got renovated that old Fred's building. Of course, I know you had your grand opening and all of this, but I'm wanting to say, put words in your mouth here, that as far as your location and facilities, that it couldn't be better.
Oh, we have the best, probably some of the best in the state. So we're very thankful, and we're just very appreciative of those that provided that to us.
Well, we're appreciative of you taking time to be here this morning. Tammy Smith, Administrator of Elections. Again, early voting through this Thursday, April 28th, and then Election Day is May the 3rd. And a final reminder, we'll do election returns that evening. Judge Tatum and I and our crew will be here. Tammy, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having us.
All right, that is it for a Tuesday. Join us tomorrow, and until then, I wish you a terrific day.